This could be the last regular Friday business day for General Motors before the century-old automaker files for bankruptcy. Kelly Wallace joins us here in the studio with the latest on GM's troubles. Good morning.
Good morning, Harry. Well, despite brokering a last-minute deal with bondholders and likely winning the support of unions, General Motors, which was once the granddaddy of automakers, is expected to file Monday for what would be the third largest bankruptcy in U.S. history. It is a stunning fall for the 101-year-old company. Until last year, General Motors was the largest automaker in the world.
Travel proudly in the new Motoramic Chevrolet.
Now, the maker of an American icon is turning into government motors. Under the bankruptcy plan, Uncle Sam gets a 72.5% stake in the new company and provides $30 billion more on top of the nearly $20 billion it has already loaned GM. Many bondholders ultimately chose to go along with the bankruptcy plan or be left holding assets that would essentially be worthless, while 65,000 United Auto Workers must either agree to sweeping concessions, reductions in retiree benefits, and no cost of living adjustments, or run the risk of GM's demise.
These are sacrifices that we know we need to make in order to keep the company up and running.
In return, GM agrees to keep open 2 of its 16 plants slated to be closed and give the union a 17.5% stake in the new company. That union voting, Terry, should be finalized later today.
All right, Kelly, thanks so much. Joining us now is Senator Richard Shelby, ranking Republican on the Banking Committee. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Harry.
I know all along you thought that GM ought to go into bankruptcy. Well, they're going into bankruptcy, bankrolled by the federal government to the tune of about $25 or $30 billion. Is this the way to go?
It's the only way at this point, perhaps. But what they should have done 6 months ago, they could have gone in to Chapter 11 and saved a lot of money and probably be a lot leaner company than they are. What I worry about, they're going to have, the government's going to have $50 billion invested in GM. They're going to own over 70%. It's going to be basically a government-run, government-owned company. I don't know if they will compete. And secondly, I don't know if this is the end of the taxpayers' funding investment in a company that sadly has been run into the ground.
I'm listening to exactly what you said. Do you feel like they have still not cut enough?
Well, I'm sure they haven't cut enough, and I don't believe there's enough concessions there, because at the end of the day, they have to compete in the marketplace. They've got to be innovative. They've got to produce products or cars that people are going to buy. People got to have confidence in them. And I think this is a sad day. This was a great company, and look at it today. It's unbelievable. But they're where they are. They were mismanaged for a long time. Look at the wealth they've lost. Look at the jobs they've lost. Look at the prestige they've lost. It's just not a good day.
72%, 72.5% government ownership of this company. All these billions of dollars invested by the United States. Do you think there's any chance U.S. taxpayers will get their money back?
That's a great question. I think it's a daunting task before the people to run this company, to make it viable, to produce a profit. Will they pay this debt back? I doubt it, and I think there will probably be more investment. We should have let the market forces work and work this thing out, because there's no end in sight.
Would that have been the real alternative, as far as you're concerned, to just let this company fend for itself starting 6 months ago and let the market do with it what it will?
Harry, that's the way we've always done it. It's the way to go. What you're going down the road now is the road towards socialism, government intervention in the marketplace in a big way. Look at the banks, now the industrial companies, probably a big state next. What's the end game here, and can we American people afford it? The answer is obviously not.
You bring up a very good point. In the last 30 seconds or so, there are states out there that have deficits of the 5s and 10s and even 20 or more billion dollars. How likely is it that somebody's going to come knocking on your door soon and say, we can't exist without the federal government's help?
Oh, Harry, I think that's an excellent point. I think that this will happen, but I hope that the political will is to say no. We have huge deficits, huge debt we're running up in Washington. States have got to live with their means, but we ought to set the example, but we haven't.
All right, Senator Shelby, thanks for your time this morning. Take care.
Thank you, Harry.
You bet.